And phenomenal member of the media, former athlete, well, current athlete. I like calling him a former athlete, former professional athlete. I'm sure Sean can still get around. Hosts his radio show. Just got done about 6 minutes ago. 4-hour program. Immediately starts in with the guest appearances. That's because he's the hardest working man in the business. That's why he's so successful, whether it's Houston, New Orleans, or anywhere else he goes. And he joins us each and every Friday at 8:05. Sean Salisbury with us. Good morning, Sean.
How you doing, bud?
I'm just counting down the days until you give me a review of the Joker movie.
I'm going to go this weekend.
Yep.
I'd give you a review of the Rambo and all that, but I haven't seen Joker. But I will. It didn't come out this weekend. Come out tonight, right? Or last night? Yeah. I'm going to go see it this weekend. So I did see Rambo last week, though.
Rambo. Let me ask you this: how many pectoral muscles out of 10? 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. How many pectoral muscles out of 10 would you give Sly Stallone?
If for the just Sly period or in the movie?
The movie itself. Like, should I go see it or is that a rental?
No, I'd go see it. It's not going to win any awards, but it's actually, it can be, it's like there's a couple times when he reaches into a chest and breaks a bone. I mean, it's pretty graphic on a couple of them. But, it's Sly, and it's a good thing this was Last Blood. I don't think he's suited for another one, but he does some incredible killing and building and doing all the things he does for John Rambo. So, yeah, it was good, had a good little message to it, and a little sad part to it. But, yeah, it's a bummer to see Rambo go. But, yeah, it's worth your 2-hour. You'll be entertained, and you'll walk out of there, and you'll say, okay, great, no more Rambos. But, it's worth 2 hours and some popcorn, brother, and a little soda. You bet.
Sean Salisbury with us. Sean, you and I have worked together for many, many years now, and although we were close, I like to think of us as close friends. You and I have never role-played together, and for many reasons.
Oh, that sounds a little bit dicey. Let's go.
So hey, buddy, it's Friday morning. Weekend's coming. I have actually done some research. I've put together a little bit of role-playing. I'm going to have you become different characters, and I'm just simply going to ask you questions. It's going to be very simple. For example, you're Sean Salisbury. We'll start out easy. You know how to be Sean Salisbury. Sean, I'm going to give you a briefcase. I guess it would probably be a Brinks truck. I'm going to fill it with $1 million cash. But you have to bet it on one of two things. That's the only way you can win that $1 million. Are you going to bet it that Urban Meyer will be coaching USC next year, or are you going to be betting it that he will not coach USC next year?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So specifically Urban Meyer, I'm going to bet $1 million against it.
You're either betting against it or for it, but that's the only way you get that $1 million is if you're right.
I'm betting against Urban Meyer.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Is I don't think that Urban, we have put it this way, and this is going to sound crazy, but we get a new president, and just my gut tells me that maybe past track record, that there's not enough, that Urban's been around some shady stuff at times. I don't know, but he's been around some shady stuff. I'm not sure that she needs to at the university right now, and Clay Helton maybe staving that off. I'm going to say no Urban Meyer to USC at the end of the year.
Okay. You are now Doug Marrone. Congratulations. You're the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very good job. Does Jalen Ramsey ever play another down for you?
Let's see. He was sick, and then he was not feeling well, and then his wife's having a child, and then he wants to be traded. They don't want to trade him.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the $1 million in the briefcase on. He plays another down, but this is his last game. I'd go that, yes, he'll play another down. So one down for $1 million, I'm in.
Okay, all right. Now we don't even. You've already bet the $1 million. Now it's just straight up. What are you going to do? For example, you are current NFL quarterback Sean Salisbury. You're now we've rewound the clock. You're playing in today's times. We'll put you back on the Vikings.
Okay.
Are you okay with playing a 17-game season as NFL owners have been proposing?
So adding an extra game to my season.
Yeah, they want to add an extra game to your season.
Yep.
Are you okay with that as a player?
I am, as long as they don't try to do it's 16 games, so we're just going to make sure that we take, for instance, if I make, let's say I'm just giving myself this $40 million a year, okay, that I'm going to be Patrick Mahomes, and I'm making $40 million for 16 games, that you don't get to parlay that out to, well, it's 16 games, so let's make it 17 games, and just you break the salary up into 1/17 each week. If that's the case, then I'm not in. But if they're going to tell me that I get my 17 weeks and you add another week of salary, I'm okay with an extra game as long as you're taking away preseason games.
Okay. Sean Salisbury with us, but not Sean Salisbury. He was Gus Marrone for a second. Now he's another head coach in the AFC. He's Anthony Lynn. And you've got Melvin Gordon back. Anthony Lynn has gone out and said, yeah, we're happy to have him back. Yeah, he's going to be the starter as soon as he's back up to full speed. Sean, if you're head coach of the Chargers, Anthony Lynn, are you saying that stuff publicly, or are you making him compete with Austin Eckler and Justin Jackson and holding his feet to the fire?
Well, he left us hanging, right?
Right.
Now, I'd like to know exactly what the hell did that holdout do? What did it accomplish? Nothing. It just cost him a bunch of money, and it cost my team a bunch of answers that they didn't have the answer to during preseason. He gets to come in and earn his job back. He left his glove out on the mound. Now, while somebody didn't come and pick it up, somebody borrowed it. So, hey, you're damn right he has to come back and earn it. And I would imagine after a handful of carries, if he's the Melvin Gordon we know, he'll earn it because he's a better football player. Right now, he doesn't get to waltz back in here on his time and us handing the job. Absolutely not. I'd say it publicly and I'd say it privately. I would have no problem. And if I hurt his feelings, oh well, he'll get his ass over it. He gets paid. I'm the head coach. I'm the boss. He's the running back. He's on my time. So I would tell the media, no, he's going to earn his job back. If he wants it, he's got split time. He'll earn his job. And if he does, no problem. But if he's a competitor, he'll go fight for it. I don't owe anybody as the head coach to sugarcoat it or protect him. He held out. Come back and earn your job. Everybody know that.
You're now quarterback Aaron Rodgers. You played that game last night. There was the pick at the end that wasn't your fault. You lost. Are you pissed at your offensive coordinator for seemingly forgetting that you can also run the ball on the goal line?
Pissed? No. Probably yes. But as any quarterback with ego, pride, and knowing Aaron Rodgers, and if I'm Aaron Rodgers, but also I think getting into his head, I think most of us know that Aaron Rodgers wants the ball in his hand at the end of the game. So, pissed, no, more pissed at the result of it and how the result happened as opposed to the play call. I would always want the ball in my hand as a quarterback, as Aaron Rodgers especially.
You're now NFL referees, Sean. I know you kind of got all these split personalities here. Are you embarrassed by the way this pass interference rule has played out this year, and more importantly, the reviews or non-reviews we saw last night?
Yes, I'm humiliated by it, and I don't know if it's the ref's fault because we've kind of taken away their power to make a decision. If we've given them too many rules and too many reviews to deal with, that they're so not only inconsistent, but they lack so much confidence in decision-making that they just looking around at their buddies. I'm pissed if I'm an official saying the NFL's put us in a bad bind, but I'm also, it's a very C- type grade, and a little embarrassed because you're supposed to be an expert in your field, you're not getting it right. It's a combination of the NFL, the Rules Committee, and the referees. I wouldn't want to do their job, but yeah, it's been a disaster so far.
All right. Couple more here, and in this case, as we finish up with this section, you're going to get to go back to be Sean Salisbury. This is something when we hung up with you last Friday, the boys and I were talking about. I'm just going to pick LSU because it's close to you. I know you have you have such respect for Ed and the entire staff over there, so let's just take all them out of the equation. Sean, you're given 2 contract offers this offseason. One is to be it's a 4-year deal to be the head coach at LSU. The other is a 4-year deal, same money, to be in the broadcast booth on Monday Night Football. Which one do you take?
I'm the head coach at LSU in Baton Rouge in the SEC.
Yep.
Or Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Now, the smart guy would say Monday Night Football because, well, that's smart. You get to judge. You get to judge others and talk about their game as opposed to them judging you. But knowing
also personally for you, though, let me add, and I'm guessing here. I think it would also matter a little extra to you. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you're also going back to ESPN. You're seeing a lot of old friends there, and that would kind of be a tour de force for you.
Yeah, and also, you know what, not just on that, but also, if there's anybody out there saying, well, how do they feel about each other? I think they feel good about each other.
Right.
But you know what? As much as I love it, here's my philosophy. If they loved me before I took the job at LSU, then they love me after.
Sure.
I would, if you're telling me I'm going to be the head coach to make a difference in young men's lives, I'm taking the LSU job.
Okay.
Harder, bigger challenge. I don't mean this disrespectful to broadcasters. I could do the Monday Night Football job with a week's preparation and do it well. I don't mean that. And then where people say, damn, he's made for this job. And I don't mean that arrogant. It's just I believe that. The challenge of taking 85 scholarship guys, recruiting, LSU, Baton Rouge, SEC, going to Tuscaloosa. I'd take that one first because I've been able to scratch a lot of itches playing. I privately train. I've been a broadcaster for 25 years now. I have not been a head coach except for one high school all-star game that we won. Yeah, I would, high school all-American game, should I say. I would probably be a hard decision, but I would take the coaching job before I take Monday Night Football.
All right, and then lastly on this note, Sean, you're still Sean Salisbury, but congratulations. Danny Ainge has now appointed you. Danny's been promoted to president, and he's moving you in to be general manager of your Boston Celtics. So here's your question. You get to go back in time, for example. You know in advance, in your head, nobody else knows this, but you know what kind of career Kobe Bryant's going to have, and you know what kind of career Steph Curry is going to have. You know this in advance. Nobody else does. Which one of them are you drafting to play their entire careers for your team?
We're just talking about skill set, right?
We're talking about, we can talk about skill set, we can talk about attitude, whatever you want to throw in there. You know these guys. You went back to the future.
Yep. This one, well, the best, and I would have to, I'm sitting here talking to my people, so I have to go through this. We're in a draft room.
Right.
Well, the best shooter, and I had one with me if I'm Sean and Dan Ainge, my guy, Larry Bird's pretty good.
Yes.
He can fill it. We've had some good shooters and DJ and great players and the Chief Parrish and McHale. Larry's one of the all-time greats, first or second team all-world forever. Steph Curry's the best shooter I've ever seen. Ray Allen rolled through here. We love him. Best shooter I've ever seen. And in this landscape of basketball, you'd say, well, Steph. But as far as defensive end, the Black Mamba attitude of cut your heart out and feed it to you on a platter. This is hard for me because Kobe's not even my favorite Laker.
Right.
But at the Celtics, I would probably, and it's so hard for me. Even as a diehard Laker fan, I want to choose Steph. But when I talk about all-time defensive player, because he was a great defensive player when like Jordan, when he wanted to shut you down, he could. Attitude, championships that he could bring us. I'm not, put it this way, I ain't going to lose if you give me Steph Curry because I'm going to shoot lights out. But I'm going to say for what I know as far as all around right now, knowing the history, 10 years from now may be different if you ask me this question because I know what Steph is. I'm going to go because I think the better all-around player is Kobe Bryant, the better shooter, and that may not be close, even though Kobe's a great scorer. I would probably say let's go get Kobe Bryant. But if you ask me this question when I'm on your show 8 years from now after Steph's career is at the back end of it, that might change. But right now, knowing what I know, I'd probably take Kobe. Even though I'd have to deal with a little bit more attitude, I'd probably take Kobe right now because he's the best. He's better of the two all around, a better defensive player. Okay,
and then let's finish up with that. Speaking of 8 years from now, let's go 13, 14, 15 years from now. Sean Salisbury, you are now the only person allowed to vote on Hall of Fame NFL players. Nobody else is allowed to vote. It's only Sean Salisbury. Okay. Which player are you more likely, do you think right now, to be voting into the Hall of Fame? Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones? And it's totally not too early to ask that question either. It's absolutely not too early to ask you that.
Yeah, one's had like 12 games and the other's had one.
Who do you like more?
Knowing what I know and taking the SC bias out, because I'll criticize SC as much as anybody will, Darnold's got more dynamic to him.
Sure.
Now, that being said, team around him is going to help. Neither one of them have a very good team right now. I think Darnold can elevate you a little bit more, but here's the difference. Daniel Jones seems like he'll protect the ball more than Sam. Sam, while being aggressive, He'll throw it to you once in a while, but Favre did too. I'm going to take Darnold if I'm saying at the end of their careers who will have had a better career.
Yeah.
I'll take Darnold over Daniel Jones. Although I'm a Daniel Jones fan, I thought it was a good pick when they drafted him. I still do, obviously. But Darnold, healthy, Darnold's a better player.
You know, and Sean, I made the point with the boys earlier when Jones took over from Eli Manning. The question out there has been, is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? I think he gets into the Hall of Fame. I think if Namath's in the Hall of Fame, I think Manning's in the Hall of Fame. But one of the reasons I gave, and I want your opinion on this, is I think it matters that Joe Namath played in New York for the Jets, and I think it matters that Eli Manning played in New York for the Giants. And I think the Giants are the name brand program there over the Jets in New York, and that affects Hall of Fame voters and a little bit of an East Coast bias. A, do you think Eli's in the Hall of Fame? And B, am I off, or do you think playing for New York teams and specifically the Giants actually helps a Hall of Fame case?
Sure it does. There's no question. Yes, I do believe Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 Super Bowl wins.
Yep.
And while people say, well, he's a 500 quarterback, yeah, you're right. But if you look at, Kenny Stabler's my all-time favorite. Just look at the numbers of Stabler or, Plunkett's a 2-time, Super Bowl winner that he's not going to get in. But look at Stabler, Namath's numbers. Joe's number. It's a way Joe may be the best pure passer other than Marino and Aaron Rodgers on the planet. But look at Joe's numbers. They're not overwhelming by any stretch. And Eli threw some picks. He also threw some touchdowns. But when you take into durability, 2 Super Bowl rings, playing in New York does matter. Because look at this now. Phillip Rivers is good. Phillip Rivers is like 4th or 5th all-time in yardage. Yeah. And without the Super Bowl, people in L.A. and San Diego, people are questioning, well, Phillip Rivers, is he a Hall of Famer? I think he is. He doesn't have a Super Bowl ring, but I think he is numbers-wise. But Eli's got numbers when it comes to durability, incredibly durable, and he's got a lot of touchdown passes and a lot of yards. And he's thrown some picks, and he's lost some games. But, yeah, I do believe he's going to get in. And let's not – New York helps, media. There's people who love Eli in the media, and rightfully so. And I'll tell you what else, and it doesn't hurt. If you're sitting on the fence, the Manning name's going to help. I don't care what anybody says. It just is. That's no disrespect. It's just a fact. That will help him. He gets in, yes, and Namath for different reasons. Joe was pure, took over, players loved him. But Joe, what his impact with the guarantee and the rest of it, and Joe's numbers outside of New York with that Baltimore game would probably say, I don't know. But his impact on the league, what he did, brash, Broadway Joe, everything, you're damn right it helps. It helps. New York, Los Angeles, of course it does. If you're in obscurity playing in Minnesota and you're a Hall of Fame borderline player, you're going to look at Art Monk. The numbers were through the roof as a wide receiver. Through the roof. And it took him time after time. Finally, people said, you know what, you're playing in D.C., Art Monk, Gary Clark was on the team. Guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and they finally put him in. So, yeah, it matters. New York matters. The Manning name matters. And quite frankly, he's put up good enough numbers that he deserves it. He has.
That's Sean Salisbury, the best in the business, has his own radio show each and every day in Houston, also heard in New Orleans as well. Plus, he comes on with us. You also can interact with him on Twitter. He's very good about talking to peeps out there, and that is at Sean Unfiltered. Buddy, another great job. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. And now that you've done all this, I'm going to be looking at my phone waiting for my call from Monday Night Football.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to be looking in the mirror trying to check out all your split personalities after
yeah, exactly. You know what? If I could be all those dudes, I'm in, brother. Count me in.
Have a great weekend, my man.
All right, you too, bud. See you.
All right, it's Sean Salisbury.
The Drive.